Anime Vanguard's Update 4 is just around the corner, and it's probably one of the most anticipated updates that fans have been waiting for. And today, I'll be going over everything you can expect this update, from the release date, to potential new secret unit, to even the new story and legend stages. So with all that said, let's get into when the update will actually be releasing. As of yesterday, I believe, one of the devs already confirmed the Battle Pass will be leaving when Update 4 comes. And that means in about 4-ish days, the update should be coming, because at the time of recording this, the Battle Pass only has about 4 days left, maybe a little under, so the update can be expected around Friday or maybe Saturday, depending on time zones. On top of the Battle Pass leaving this update, Diogo will also be leaving. If you're unaware, you get him from the JoJo raid, I believe. It's probably one of the later acts, maybe the last or second to last one. So if you don't have him yet and you wish to get him, I definitely recommend grinding that as soon as possible. Overall, just make sure that you have your battle pass leveled, and if you want the unit, now is a really great time to get him before he leaves. Now moving on to the actual Bleach part of this update, there's a couple things that I want to go over. First, a new map was just leaked of vanguards. Hopefully it's going to be a story or maybe a legend stage map. I can't see the developers doing a new portal, especially because there's already a portal up, and we just got a new boss rush, so it's seeming like it'll be either a new story or a legend stage. On top of us getting a vanguards map, the developers also did a cipher not too long ago, and when solved it has the words Bleach, Yhwach, and ichigo. So personally, I think it's very likely that we'll get ichigo and Yhwach as units in this update. Now, their rarities aren't confirmed, but I think Yhwach might be at least a vanguard or a secret unit. He seems a little too important to not be either, but it's all speculation right now, so if he's not in this update, or if he's not even a secret or a vanguard unit, then don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. But also feel free to let me know down below what you think his rarity might be in the event he does release. Again, I think it's very likely he will, but you never know, especially with these developers. But if he were to release, what rarity do you think he might be? On top of those two units, there's a couple more that are very likely to release this update. Now, Anime Vanguards does have a track record of only releasing around 5 to 6 units on fully fleshed out updates, so maybe just take 5 or 6 from this pick and do with that what you will. But overall, after asking around, it seems like Shunsui, Yoruichi, Rukia most definitely, and Baz B are all very likely to get added this update. If they wanted to do a bleed unit as well, they could do Unohana or Kenny. So just keep that in mind. We're definitely getting more than just Ichigo and Yhwach on a full, update 4, but it could also just be random units that people like. It could be irrelevant units, you never know. But I would say that that pick is very likely to get added this update, so just keep that in mind. Personally, I think it's really interesting that they're doing a series with such a big cast of members, especially in this arc, while the winter event is still going on. Because you still have the winter event, and that doesn't seem to be leaving this update, maybe in update 4.5 or update 5, but I wonder how the devs are going to tackle the winter event and then a whole separate update on top of that. So maybe we might get a weekend boost for the winter event, maybe we'll be getting more units, maybe some of these units will even be a part of the winter banner. Hopefully we can expect something else. I've really liked the winter event so far, but I think grinding it separately from such a big update could be very hard for a lot of free-to-play players and people who don't have Gogeta yet, or even Ragna. So we'll have to see how the devs tackle that, but hopefully it's not too punishing on the players and it's still a really fun experience. Now, although a Bleach update does give the developers a lot of room to work with in terms of content and units and really just what they can give us in an update, I do think they might throw in some extra incentives for players to return to the game or continue playing, mainly because the game has had such a steady incline of players recently. Now, when I say incentives, I don't necessarily mean rewards, mainly just content or things the devs have planned or confirmed or even just teased during stages, Q&As, even just replying to people in the Discord and saying this is planned, this is unlikely, etc. Things we might be able to expect this update personally are guilds. Guilds is a really big one The new map already has a guild section, which is a very good sign. It seems like within the next couple of updates, guilds should be coming, but I think Update 4 is the perfect time to, mainly because of the increase in players recently. Update 3, and especially 3.5, really brought in and brought back a lot of players, whether that be from AA or other tower defense games, or even people who are just taking a break from that genre of games. And I don't think the devs are going to want to miss this chance, because now is really the perfect time to hit it home and deliver content like that. On top of guilds, I also think double evolutions and maybe unit fusion could be coming soon. By unit fusion I mean something like anime adventures where you take 2 units and sometimes you need to evolve one or evolve both, and then you can essentially evolve or fuse them into a whole new unit. Not necessarily you fuse units together for XP. I think a mechanic like that is really underutilized in a lot of tower defense games in general, and it's such a loved mechanic by fans that I think now is also a great time to do something like that, just because it gives the game something that makes it stand out. It makes it a bit different from other tower defense games right now aside from its quality of life. So I would definitely expect something like that, or double evolutions. Double evolutions also seems very likely this update, as it's definitely a bit easier to do on the back end, and the devs have already said that they plan to do that, so I don't see why they wouldn't do that with such a beloved update. But again, these devs don't have the best track record of keeping their promises or keeping things in a good timeline, in a good neat timeline, so after a certain amount of updates you can expect this and then this. The devs have just let us down a lot, and I think there's pretty low expectations, but I would still just keep it in the back of your head that, hey, we could be getting this next update, and it seems very likely for a whole bunch of reasons, but there's other factors that come in, and again, it's these devs after all, so if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and hopefully it happens soon, because the players have been really waiting for content like this, and I think we kinda deserve it by now, but we'll see. Overall, my closing thoughts on this update are pretty positive. I have pretty high expectations, and I'm pretty excited for the update and the content we can expect. And even outside of this update, I think it's really exciting that the game seemingly has a good update schedule now. The devs actually said recently that now they're finally on track and able to implement the changes that they've been trying to implement for a couple months now. So everything aside, even just this update and what we might be getting, what we might not be getting, it seems like we will have a consistent update schedule. And that has been players' #1 complaint with this game, again, since it released back in last year. So finally having a consistent update schedule should really help boost the game and get it back to a place it was at before. But who knows, we'll just have to wait and see the actual update and future updates to see if the devs are actually keeping up with their promises, if they're actually implementing those changes correctly, if it's the right changes. We'll just have to see. But with all that said, let me know what some of your expectations are for this update, whether that be units, quality of life, game modes, changes, even bug fixes. Honestly, I think there's been a couple bugs this update that have been kind of annoying, especially for cosmetics, but I have pretty high expectations for this update, especially for the unit VFX and moves, but that's just kind of niche, and I know a lot of people probably have units they expect to see, or units they want to obtain a certain way, maybe portals, or the new world lines, whatever that may look like. Feel free to let me know. I would love to hear what people expect from this update, what people expect from the developers, honestly just everything. With all that said, that is going to be the end of this video. If there's anything I missed or anything you think I should have talked about or speculated on, then again, feel free to let me know. I might make another video closer to the update, seeing as the devs love to sneak stuff a couple days before the update, and we have a good, 4 days until the update, so you could definitely expect another video soon. So if there really is anything that happens or anything you think I should have talked about today, then just feel free to let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, or you enjoyed my speculation, or just hearing me yap, then you should definitely subscribe for more videos like this, because I do plan to do more, but I don't know how interested people are in hearing me talk. I'm definitely not a pro. I don't know if, really anyone can be a pro at games like this, I guess. being an endgame player doesn't really make you a pro or qualified to talk about this, but I have been playing the game since release and I am an endgame player technically, so I always have certain thoughts on this and I always try to make videos on them and, you know, get my thoughts out there and sort of explain what I'm thinking. So if that's something you're interested in and you want to see more of, then again you should definitely subscribe or even just let me know what you want to see more of from me.